Can you retire at 65 with £100,000 in your pension pot? Well, the simple answer is yes, you can. But the real question is, what does life actually look like? So in this video, we're going to look at that. Not just going to look at withdrawal strategies, but what actual day-to-day living might be like. And what I want to try and do in this video is paint what I think a realistic picture is, what I think you'll be able to afford, and what you won't be able to afford. We'll also have a think about what those 2 years before state pension age might feel like, and what life looks like from 67 onwards. So my name's Zach Hussain and I'm the founder of financialeducation.co.uk. I've got over 25 years experience of helping people plan for their retirement. And I've seen hundreds of people live this exact scenario. So let me show you in this video what retiring on £100,000 is going to really mean. Not theory, but actual reality. Your first big challenge is going to be between the ages of 65 and 67, because your state pension isn't going to start until 67. So you've got 2 years to fund yourself. Now, most people will take their 25% tax-free lump sum first. So that's £25,000 from your £100,000 pension pot. And this needs to last you through age 65 to 67. And that costs. The council tax is maybe £100 to £150 a month. Food shopping for one person, usually between £200 to £300 a month. So already you're at £450 before utility bills or anything else. So that's year one covered. Now we get to year two. And at age 66, things potentially get a little bit tighter. Because by age 66, you may need more money. You still got £75,000 in your pension pot, but now your withdrawals could become taxable. Most people will take around £15,000 for year two. And this is where it gets really tight. You're cutting back on everything that is non-essential. So no meals, no new clothes, no unexpected expenses. So you're basically in survival mode until you get to 67 and get access to your state pension. Age 67, well, your state pension finally arrives. And at age 67, things actually improve significantly. Your state pension kicks in, and currently that's just under £12,000 per year. So that's basically £1,000 a month, and you got that guaranteed for life. And you've still got roughly £60,000 in your pension pot. And most financial planners will recommend the 4% withdrawal route, and that really means that you take out 4% of your pension pot each. So based on that, that's £2,400 a year that you can take out, which is more or less £200 a month. Your total monthly income is now about £1,200. So this is your baseline for the rest of retirement. No more scrambling like those first 2 years, but you need to understand what £1,200 a month is actually going to buy you. Let's look at what that £14,400 is actually going to give you. So that's based on £12,000 from your state pension and £2,400 on the withdrawals from your pension pot. So in this slide, I'm going to break down what I think life is going to look like for your £14,400 annually. So council tax is roughly £1,500 to £1,800 per year. Food shopping is probably going to be between £3,000 and £3,600 a year. And your gas and electric, somewhere between £1,200 and £1,500 a year. Water rates, well, that's going to be another £400. TV licence, £169. And your internet, maybe another £300. So already, you're at £7,000 to £8,000 before you hit your discretionary spending. So that leaves you between £6,000 and £7,000 for everything else. Clothes, transport, social activities, it all has to come out of that. And of course, this is also assuming that your home is paid off completely. You aren't having to pay a mortgage or pay any rent, because that could be the killer in it. So I think we need to be realistic about what you can afford versus what you can't. So this is what I think your retirement is actually going to include. Well, you'll be able to afford basic groceries and home cooked meals. You can afford to pay for your utilities and your council tax, and you can afford the occasional family visits and some free activities. Maybe one UK holiday per year if you save carefully. But let's now look at what you can't afford, or you probably can't afford. Foreign holidays probably out of the question. Running a car, well, that's going to be extremely difficult on this budget. Eating out regularly simply isn't going to happen. And new furniture or home improvements are going to need some serious saving. And of course, any emergency like a boiler replacement is going to be a major crisis if you haven't got access to savings to dip into. I touched on this earlier, but the housing factor changes everything and your ability to be able to retire. So everything I've said so assumes that you own your home outright, or you have no mortgage or rental payments. If you are paying rent, this entire scenario collapses, unfortunately. Average rent in the UK is around £800 per month. So that's £9,600 per gone immediately. So your £14,400 income becomes £4,800 after rent. So that's £400 per month for absolutely everything. Food, utilities, council tax, clothes, all has to come out of that £400. For me, completely impossible to live with any dignity on that kind of amount. If you're renting, you cannot retire at 65 on £100,000. You need to work until 67 minimum or find cheaper housing. Unfortunately, that is going to be the reality for a lot of people. Now, let's look at what the experts say versus what I think real life is. So there's a body in the UK called the PLSA, who are the Pension and Lifetime Savings Association, and they, in essence, are the UK's pensioners body. Now, what they say is that you need £31,700 per year for a moderate retirement. And they say for a comfortable retirement, you need £43,900 per year for a couple. But these figures, in my mind, are complete fantasy for most pensioners. You know, I've worked with hundreds of people over the past 25 years, and most can live perfectly well between £15,000 and £18,000 per year. Not an extravagant lifestyle, but certainly a nice lifestyle. See, the PLSA assumes foreign holidays, expensive hobbies, running cars. Real pensioners are visiting grandkids, doing free activities, using buses. So your 14,400 is tight, but absolutely livable. It's a modest, simple life, but it does work. You're not suffering, you're just living within your means. However, there is one really important truth that you do need to hear, and that is care costs. So residential care currently costs just over £1,400 per week in the UK. That's nearly £73,000 per year if you need it. So your entire £100,000 would last just 1 year in this scenario. And nursing costs even more, £81,000 a year. So your state only helps when your assets drop below 23,250. Until then, you're paying for everything yourself. And that might not necessarily be about going into a care home. It might even be about having home carers come and visit you and help you around the house. So that's why £100,000 feels like loads, but the reality is it isn't. See, one health crisis, one care home placement wipes it all out. So you do need to think seriously about this possibility and what would happen if you did need care and where that money would come from. To wrap things, can you retire at 65 with £100,000? The answer was yes, but only if your home is completely paid off or you have no housing costs. So those first 2 years are going to be tough financially before your state pension kicks in. You're going to be living on reduced income and cutting back constantly. From 67 onwards, you do settle into a more of a modest lifestyle. You'll have about £1,200 a month for everything. It's a simple, quiet retirement, certainly not a luxurious one. No foreign holidays, no expensive hobbies, no financial cushion. But thousands of people live exactly like this, and do live like this successfully. So the key is managing expectations and planning carefully. You can check the Money Helper website or the UK Care Guide website for more help and information. Both have got excellent calculators for working out your specific situation. If this gives you a realistic picture, please do give the video a like and do subscribe for more honest UK money advice from real experiences. And finally, get proper financial advice before making any big financial decision. Goodbye and good luck.